What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder checking back in with another edition of a lesson or history fact that we don't know or something we should add to the archives. Today's lesson will be about the Indiana Kappas, or what's better known as the origins of the Ku Klux Klan. The reason why I think this is important is because a lot of times we don't understand the significance of how movements happen in America and what shaped them to come about in history. The Ku Klux Klan is a secondary organization that came about from the Indiana Kappas. The Indiana Kappas really became prevalent during the 19th century in southern Indiana. They started out as a militia organization that wanted to seek justice and bear arms against the government. It's always been the ideology that we got to protect ourselves from the government, Big Brother, or somebody else prosecuting us. But this ideology turned very pervasive and began to harm people in the process. The reason why the Indiana Kappas really became prevalent was right around the Civil War time, because they knew that certain blacks, as the freedom and the movement began to get strong, they began to see blacks uprising, creating their own towns that we talked about as freedom towns across America. The reason why this organization wanted to be so big was because we got to understand black cities around this time was the labor, the skills craftsmen, and the other part of the organization that led it. So when these Indiana Kappa organizations came around, they were filled with rage because literally all their labor and money was ripped from them. So around this time, you got to understand the ideology. Most of the laborers, most of their family income was depleted because slavery was abolished in America. Slavery was not agreed upon everyone. To this day, you can see how America is so divided on what the ideology or the preferences should be. So this militia organization formed to protect the interests of the whites around this time. It quickly turned south when they began to lynch black folks in this area for no apparent reason. This militia organization was meant to protect, but you began to see them outwardly attacking, probing, and harming black Americans at this time. The reason why this incident became a big deal, because you got to understand the blacks at this time were protecting themselves. So you had constant infighting inside of the Americas. So we're growing, we're fighting, and we have militia group attacking blacks and lynching them all over the time for medical crimes. So mind you, let's get to the full scope frame of this time. We had the Civil War, we had Jim Crow in the South, we also had sundown towns, and we have other things all spurring around the same time. So this whole suppression movement from these type of organizations, this ideology, really made America split and have internal issues that we still see to this day. The reason why I think this organization is so prevalent, because even in the North at this time, when we think Indiana is a northern state, you still begin to see resistance all around. And if we don't teach about this resistance, educate and inform each other, we won't know. And when we see these type of things happening, we still will see the underlines to this day. The reason why this organization was so eerie, because they inspired the Ku Klux Klan. The Indiana Kappas are not in any organizations growing up in any historical context, but this group was really the founders that influenced them to lynch and terrorize blacks in the South. They were in the Midwest and the North, in Indiana, southern Indiana specifically. The Ku Klux Klan was specialized in the South. Another important thing that I will condemn and give Indiana the state credit, once the anti-lynching law was passed during that time, the lynching things that happened in that state were almost cut overnight. Literally half of what was going on was cut in here because that state literally made an effort to say, we don't want to be a part of this. We don't want no parts of it, even though it was almost 40 or 50 years into the practice. Still delayed justice, but I still want to highlight the differences and why this is important. It's your boy King Crowder checking out again, y'all. The Indiana Kappa history is something that we all should learn. We all should educate ourselves on when we're talking about these topics and why it's important to the history of the United States, the other side and the side that we're all taught. All right, y'all, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I want to bring this information to you because I do think it is pivotal, and I do think it's something that we all need to learn. Peace.